TST is proud to welcome you back to the impressive WakeMed Soccer Park, the home for the third year of the TST, where 48 men's teams will battle for $1 million and 16 women's teams will battle for $1 million. The afternoon session of day one continues on Field 6. It's last year's champion, La Bombonera, taking on the Mississauga Dolphins out of Toronto area and Canada. La Bombonera coming off an impressive 4-1 win in their first game to get things rolling. Meanwhile, Mississauga Dolphins, they fell in their first game as they did score a goal in target time, but came up just a little bit too short as you take a look at the box scores for both of the teams. Let's break down a couple other things here. La Bombonera, as you see right there, their 4 goals coming from Gary Sanchez, Mojica, and Manzonas. Ramirez with a couple saves. Well done. And then out of Canada, the Dolphins. Take a look at their recap for you as both teams start to get ready. Raheem Rose did have a goal. So did Sebastian Lopez. And so did Darius Kerr Cooper. As they fell to League of Foot 7 by a score of 6-3. So both teams are out here getting ready to go. Explain the TST rules again. 7v7. There are no kick-ins. They're all throw-ins. There are no sliding tackles. There are no offside. They'll play 2 20-minute halves, and then they'll set the target score. How do they set the target score? They take the leading score and add 1. That's your target score, and they'll play till a game ends on a goal. It's brilliant. It's awesome. It's fantastic, and it's everything times a million. And that's how it works for every single game, including the games, speaking of $1 million, on Sunday when a men's team will walk out of here with $1 million and a women's team will do the same. Keep in mind, when they do get to target score time, after every 3 minutes, if they haven't found that target score, they'll remove a player from each team and go to 6v6, then 5v5, 4v4, and so forth. Pleased to be joined by Brandon Rhodes. He'll be on PA. Mills Francis is running the crew over here. Emma Becerra is also involved, and we'll have Kwame running the scoreboard. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you for 4 more games, 4 early today and 4 now. Starting lineups for La Bombonera, we'll have number 9, Aldo Manzonas, number 12, Giancarlo Ramirez, the goalkeeper. They'll play 2 goalkeepers. Number 17, Urban Mojica. Number 21, Luis Sanchez. Number 32, Fabrizio Tavano. Number 47, Xavier Gallegos. And number 77, Carlos Hernandez. Their coach is Coach Moises Velasco. The head coach for Mississauga is Lorenzo Redwood. Their GM is Mr. Cohn. Starting lineup for the Dolphins, number 4, Saab Kular, got a yellow card in that last game. Raheem Rose scored a goal. Francisco Thomas Ceros, number 8. Number 11, Daniel Shamail. Number 14, Darvis Kerr Cooper, he scored a goal. Number 18, Jonas Yama. And number 0, Carlos Zaballos is the goalkeeper. That's the starting lineup for both teams. La Bombonera in the all-white uniforms. Mississauga, the Dolphins, out of the Toronto area in the blue uniforms.
TST fans, Club America is hosting a meet and greet with players from get underway here on Field 6. They also have their Bombonera wearing the white. Be sure to get your photo at the Club America experience location.
So both teams starting to get out there and get set.
And NCFC youth coach, including both structured games and free play, giving you a chance to enjoy the game. Make new friends and burn off some energy in a fun soccer-filled environment. Check it out also at 5:30.
All right, we're underway. Last year's $1 million winners, La Bombonera in the white, already with 3 points in their group. And just like that, they score a goal. Incredible. What a great start. Took them just seconds. Fabrizio Tavano with the goal. And off we go. La Bombonera with a 1-0 lead. That did not take long at all. There are people standing in and around our broadcast position, so we are blocked a little bit, but glad to tell you that Fabrizio Tavano has made it 1-0 La Bombonera. Early doors here. See how the Dolphins respond. La Bombonera, watching them last year, they have a great ability to keep possession and hang on to the ball for a long time. Caleb Porter now coaching the New England Revolution. When he was at Akron, he called it death by possession. Bombonera beating Nani's team last year in the final. Hoosier Army making a run into the semifinals. Bombonera led their opening game 3-0 before getting the 4-1 final. They scored 129 in on that one, and then they scored again right before the end of the second half, then scored a minute 30, and they got the game winner pretty early into target score time. Coach Velasco's La Bombonera team. Carlos Ceballos, the goalkeeper, on one side. La Bombonera expected to go with two goalkeepers. Ramirez, who had 2 saves in the 4-1 win. As this is Group A action. Mississauga Dolphins in the dark blue, playing it out of the back. Cannot ask for a better start as Tavano making it 1-0 for La Bombonera. The evening session, day one of the TST. John Mugar and the great people that started the TBT brought us the TST now in their 3rd year, and Mississauga has equalized. So we've got a game right here, and the goal coming from Franz Mella, number 9, and we're tied at 1s. Darius Kerr Cooper, who had a goal in the game number 1, gets the assist. The goal coming to Franz Mella. We're we're tied at 1. So nice response from the team from Canada as Mississauga, the Dolphins, answer the bell. Bombonera with 3 points with their win. The Dolphins looking for their first points in Group A. Remember, there are 12 groups of 4, 48 teams. The top 2, that's 24, will advance to the knockout round of 32, plus 8 third-place teams.
Who scored, though?
I think Tavano, who scored the goal, has now changed jerseys to number 19 for La Bombonera. I want to thank Brandon Rhodes, our PA announcer, for that update. La Bombonera taking their time. Ramirez, as I mentioned, 2 saves in their win earlier this morning. It's more than just a soccer tournament. It's a festival with all kinds of things to do, great stuff to eat and drink and enjoy. It's all part of what the TST offers, built off the TBT, the basketball tournament. The Bombonera. Taking their time. Finally, a somewhat probing pass. A couple of them here for La Bombonera. They scored early, but that sequence right there, not much. The outlet taken away by La Bombonera. Mississauga Dolphins trying to slow down Joaquin Hernandez. 3 game-winning goals last year he had as La Bombonera ran all the way to the $1 million. Decent move here from La Bombonera. Sent across, but nowhere near, no problem for Zabalos, the goalkeeper for Mississauga Dolphins.
20 remaining before halftime. La Bombonera, the defending TST champion, wearing white, versus the Mississauga Dolphins wearing blue. The game is tied at 1.
Mississauga showing a little movement. Earning the whistle there is Raheem Rose. Rose scored in the game earlier today. An unbelievable start, a goal before we could even catch our breath by La Bombonera, and then a great answer from the Dolphins. And that's where we are right now, 1-1, as we are approaching about halfway through the first half here. Group A action. La Bombonera can pretty much punch their ticket on to the knockout round of 32 with a win here in this one. Mississauga, shot from distance, not quite on the goal. So now La Bombonera out of the back. They play it to the feet of Irvin Mojica. The Dolphins trying to go the other way. The Bombonera tracks back defensively, still in a little bit of trouble. A little push there from Rose. Now back across again. Mississauga has come to play. They did not let that early goal from La Bombonera rattle them as they come back and tie it. That's where we stick now. Taken away again. This will fall to Darvis Kerr Cooper, who had a goal in their first game, a loss. They play it back to Daniel Shamail.
Mississauga Dolphins 1. Again, La Bombonera wearing the white, Mississauga wearing the blue.
Mississauga in the blue with the equalizer. You will hear at times the great pipes of Brandon Rhodes, our PA announcer here over on field 6. Our team is complete because Kwame has arrived. Try to get a reaction out of Kwame. It's not easy to do. The Bombonera with the Dolphins closing in. Really good pressure there from Daniel Shamail. Couple touches, turn here now. The Dolphins double teamed. They keep possession. That's Jonas Yama over there wearing number 18. I want to thank my producer for all 8 games today, John Loomis. My first time working with him, and it certainly has been great. Nice steady hand, easy to work with. Thank you, Mr. Loomis. The Bombonera, see that constant movement. They'll come in, they'll show centrally, they'll try to get on a good angle. It very much is like watching, if you watch the Michael Jordan documentary on his last year and they start talking about the triangle offense, then you start to watch how La Bombonera plays. You see the angles. The Bombonera, they're calling that a flop, so it's going to stay with the Dolphins. All 4 games beginning with the morning session were officiated really well. No major problems, no red cards in any of the games I had. There was at least 1 red card issued today. But for the most part, fair play by all the teams and great job by the officials. Which I just think is another example how the TST is up their game each and every year, making everything just a little bit better. TST 7v7 soccer with target scoring. Played up top for La Bombonera. You can see the 9 right there, Aldo Manzonis. So good back to goal, can really hold it up and turn and can fire. The Bombonera this time tripped up. They do get the call, and there will be a free kick just outside the goal box.
Now on a free kick for La Bombonera, just outside the box. We are still tied at 1 with 5:40 remaining until halftime.
So you heard the report, 5:40 left here. And a good chance for La Bombonera, the reigning TST champions, to perhaps get the lead again with the free kick. Struck with the right foot, right into the wall. La Bombonera will run it down. They'll play it back to Ramirez. Ramirez now makes a run. Ramirez going to go ahead and fire it. And it's deflected away.
Five minutes remaining in the first half here on field 6. Bombonera 1, Mississauga Dolphins 1.
5 minutes remaining, still 1-1. The Bombonera, Mississauga Dolphins 1-1. Look forward again. Decent check back. Couple touches here from La Bombonera. Good work there from Francisco Tomaseros. As a foul, and it'll come back to the Dolphins. Dolphins rotate in some new players. Jason Alvarado, number 2, gets a touch. Trapped with the bottom of the foot there by Kowal. One bounce and it'll go over the goal. All of the games in the TST played on natural grass. They do warm up on turf as part of this amazing complex, now known as Wake Med Soccer Park. Includes First Horizon Stadium, where the North Carolina Courage and North Carolina FC play in the NWSL and USL Championship, respectively, for women and men.
3 minutes remaining in the first half here on field 6. La Bombonera and Mississauga Dolphins tied at 1.
Mississauga answering the bell with the early goal from your reigning TST champs, and they were looking to take the lead as we're under 3 minutes left here in this first half. Couple touches. The Bombonero, and that's going to be an own goal as it is going to go off. Sebastian Lopez. He actually scored a goal in target time in the first game, but the own goal as it went off 15. I think they're going to mark it as an own goal. We'll see. It went off of number 15, Sebastian Lopez. I think they're going to rule it an own goal. So the official score has ruled it an own goal, and the Bombonera has a 2-1 lead. As we've got a minute left here in the first half. La Bombonera has taken the lead. They scored early, and they scored late here in this first half to give them the 2-1 lead. 45 seconds or thereabouts left here.
46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Free kick coming for the Dolphins. Dropped over to the right side. Sebastian Lopez had a goal in target time in the first game. Taken away. La Bombonera may have a chance to take a 3-1 lead. The goalkeeper was way out. The shot right at the final second goes high, and that'll lead to the end of the first half. And at the end of the first half, it's La Bombonera from Group A 2, the Mississauga Dolphins 1. Welcome back to our coverage on Field 6 with La Bombonera leading the Mississauga Dolphins by a score of 2-1. Wanted to come on just a little bit earlier to read a little bit more about both these teams. La Bombonera, the 2024 champions, back to defend their crown, named after an indoor soccer sports complex located in the heart of Newcastle, Delaware. La Bombonera brings together some of the best indoor soccer players from across the United States and Mexico. La Bombonera dominated the field in 2024, cruising through the group stage with a perfect 3-0 record. They're 1-0 already today and leading at the half. Their momentum only grew in the knockout rounds where they outscored their opponents 21-4 on their way to the championship. Their $1 million moment came in the final against Portuguese legend Nani and Nani FC. Chad Porch sealed the victory with a game-winning strike in target score time, capping off a commanding 4-0 win. And they return to carry with many familiar faces from their championship squad. That's a little bit about La Bombonera. And the Mississauga Dolphins, formerly SLCFC, they return with a different name and are ready to represent Canada. In 2023, this group of Canadians shocked the world and came one win away from the $1 million prize. Returning in 2024 is Toronto Athletic FC. The Canadians advanced out of the group stage yet again, but fell to the local side, the Raleigh Rebels, in the round of 32. This year, the team will be representing the Toronto suburb of Mississauga. Their roster will consist of some of the best talent from the Canadian futsal national team and League One Ontario, building on their impressive performance from past years. Although 3 name changes, this group believes they have what it takes to win it all. They certainly had what it takes to answer the early goal from La Bombonera, but La Bombonera getting a goal with a little over a minute remaining in the half, and as we get ready to start the second half, they lead it by a score of 2-1.
With a 2-1 lead over the Mississauga Dolphins in blue. We're ready for second half.
So the second half is underway. The Dolphins out of Canada in the blue uniforms. La Bombonera, as we said, kind of based out of the state of Delaware in the white uniforms. They've got a mixture of players, though, from all over the world, including Mexico. Taking their time, trying to build it out of the back. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Dolphins. After this game, Borussia Dortmund will take on the Drunken Monkeys on this field. Then we'll have Cagliari taking on Cardinal Legacy out of Stanford, and then Trident FC will finish the day against Certified Lions FC. Those are the 4 games we'll bring to you this evening from Field 6. The Bombonera. In the white, they play it forward to the feet there of Eduardo Gary. He scored in minute 19 in the first game earlier this morning. Here come the Dolphins. Good run here by Rose. Rose had a good run, but La Bombonera, you don't win the TST with just attacking play. You got to have great defense, and they're showing that. You see the number of people representing La Bombonera as well. They are a deep team with lots of white jerseys. So 12 groups of 4. The top 2 will qualify for the knockout round, and then the 8 best third-place teams with various tiebreaker scenarios will be the 32 that advance to the knockout round of 32, then with a chance to get to 16, and down to 8-4, and then the championship on Sunday. Bombonera played about 4 minutes here into the second half. Still 2-1.
Bombonera leads the Mississauga Dolphins 2-1. Reminder, at the end of this half, we will have target score time. The game is not over when the clock is 0.
Every game ends with a goal. Every single game, which makes this such a unique and spectacular soccer festival. As the week rolls on, it gets even more fun into the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. Play on the main stadium field. They've got the cabanas. It's just a great scene. Held up. Bombonera will go ahead and play it out of the back. Still with that 2-1 lead. In there for the Dolphins now is number 20, Jared Phillips. Built like a rock. With Bombonera trying to drop it over. Having himself a really good game is Raheem Rose, wearing number 5 for the Dolphins. And Rose is fouled.
14 minutes remaining in the second half here on field 6. Bombonera in the white leads the Mississauga Dolphins in the blue 2-1.
So this same group has been here all 3 years with 3 different names. Dropped over to the aforementioned Jared Phillips. And Phillips will get it back. Phillips feels a little bit of pressure. We'll drop it back to Zeballos, his goalkeeper, and Phillips will get it back. Phillips turns. Nice and calm, takes a shot. Sends it over to the practice area. Still 2-1. Got a player down. So they're asking for the trainer to come out. This is actually the first time in 5 games today where they brought the trainer out. So back on his feet, you can see Franz Mella trying to help, as limping his way over will be Roman Ramirez, number 6, as he'll come out of the game with the trainers coming on. So it'll probably mean a little bit of added time. Now the sub is in and off we go. La Bombonera with the lead. Whistle called against La Bombonera. It'll give the Dolphins a chance here to set something up. The Dolphins have already demonstrated that they are not going away. They answered pretty quickly to the early goal from La Bombonera, so the Dolphins did give up one late in that first half. They trail 2-1 with a chance to equalize here now. Here we go. It's sent in, pings around, still loose, and it'll turn into a goal kick. So La Bombonera survives a pretty good chance there from the Dolphins.
We are halfway through the second half on field 6. Halfway through the second half, it's La Bombonera 2, Mississauga Dolphins 1.
La Bombonera trying to put some passes together. Shot from distance, not quite there, as that was Miguel Raboca. Here come the Dolphins, trying to make a run out of the back. A little bit of bump. They'll play advantage, and they'll give it back to the Dolphins right at midfield. On the whistle, turning with it, Daniel. Dolphins down near the end line, still dangerous opportunity, and I think you may have pointed to the spot. We'll confirm that. So it looks like we will have a PK with the Dolphins with a chance to tie things up.
Penalty kick for the Mississauga Dolphins.
Sebastian Lopez. So Lopez with a chance to make it 2-2 and send some murmurs through the crowd here that's beginning to grow as we move into the evening here at WakeMed Soccer Park. The Dolphins to try to equalize, and they've done it. A brilliant finish. And the Dolphins, after a lot of tussling around there, Lopez has made it 2-2. We got ourselves a game here.
Mississauga goal scored by number 15, Sebastian Lopez. With 7:38 remaining in the second half, we are tied at 2. La Bombonera wearing the white 2, Mississauga in the blue 2.
So 2-2. And a game that could really dust up Group A. Bombonera foul. They play advantage, as taken down there was Eduardo Gary. The Dolphins trying to go the other way. Ivan Munoz, who replaced Ramirez. That was the plan. So Munoz in there, start the second half for La Bombonera, who need to get things moving here a little bit now with the game tied 2-2. Dolphins will push it past midfield. Shot from distance, sent into the practice zone. That is not the first time we've seen Zeballos hammer one.
We are tied at 2 on field 6. 6 minutes to play until target score time between La Bombonera and the Mississauga Dolphins.
La Bombonera put together 3-4 passes. Taken away again, though, is stepping in there is Jonas Yama. Switched neatly by Sebastian Lopez over to the far side. Nifty little move, shot right in front. The Dolphins bringing some more heat. And just over the ball was Lopez, who just had the penalty kick score. And we remain at 2-2. The Bombonera with a pretty good chance and knocked over. Franz Mella sliding in there with the number 9 jersey. It'll be a corner kick coming for La Bombonera. So 5 minutes on the clock. It'll be interesting to see if the referee wants to add a little bit of time. He's kind of been going with whatever the horn sound is. However, I did see him tell one of the teams that he is keeping track of the time. Reminding you, target score, so 2-2 if we go the rest of this time here, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, as the Dolphins, once again, another good run from Raheem Rose, who's been outstanding, as Rose will drop it back to Mella. Mella now will retreat. This will come all the way back to Zeballos. Rose. Thought he was fouled. Good run the other way by Joaquin Hernandez. And now they'll call a flop on La Bombonera. It'll come back to Zeballos. Couple touches, decent pass. Back across, and Zeballos has it. So we've got 3:12 on the game clock.
Three minutes to play in regulation here on field 6. Before we enter target score time, reminder, when the clock hits 0 and under 3 minutes, the game is not over.
Foul called against the Dolphins, so La Bombonera will have a pretty good opportunity here. We have seen them over the last couple years hit some absolute stunners. Over the ball now is Javier Gallegos. Shot and a finish, a beautiful pass, a planned play all the way, including slipping the sub in there. And then the goal comes from Urban Mojica. And Javier Gallegos with the assist. And now it's 3-2. Kick in coming for the Dolphins. Find themselves down a goal. Good work there by Kular. He did get a yellow card in his first game. Saab Kular, number 4 for the Dolphins. Out of Canada. Pretty sure the women's team from Canada that will be one of the 16 teams is here next to us watching their fellow Canadians. They were called Street Ball Canada last year, the women's team. They beat the U.S. women, actually, to kind of shock everybody. The U.S. women then would figure things out and go all the way to winning the women's TST title in their first ever year. This is the second year the women, they've gone from 8 teams to 16 teams. The Bombonera with a 2-man wall. They'll play it back here. Final seconds. Counting down before we go to target score time. And that will be the end of regulation. And we'll head to target score time. Target is set at 4 with La Bombonera with 3 goals. Mississauga Dolphins 2. Target score set at 4. We'll be back for target score time. Welcome back to our coverage here on Field 6, the evening session, day 1 of the TST, the soccer tournament with $1 million on the line. 48 teams on the men's side, 16 teams on the women's side. We're headed to target score time. Going to remind you the rules in target score time. First of all, the score is La Bombonera 3, the Mississauga Dolphins 2. The target is 4. The first team to 4 will win and get the 3 points. Every game ends on a goal. Now, here's the deal. As we get rolling, looking for that 4th goal from one of these 2 teams, if we go 3 minutes without a goal, they'll take a player off, and they'll go 6v6. If they go 3 more minutes without a goal, they'll go 5v5 right on down to 2v2. They will not go below 2v2 for target score time. And they'll start 7v7. Long discussion with the officials afterwards, as I think the key issue there is the Mississauga Dolphins thought they deserved a little added extra time and didn't get it as they try to keep things on schedule. So we head to target score time. The Bombonera sneaking one in there, so they have that comfort of knowing that they can give one up and the game's not over. The target is set at 4. La Bombonera has 3 goals. The Mississauga Dolphins has 2. You do the math. Mississauga needs 2 to win. La Bombonera, your reigning TST champs, need just 1, and that would make them 6 points through their first 2 games in group play. Pretty good feeling heading into Wednesday night here at Cary, North Carolina.
7 versus 7, just like regulation.
The Dolphins in blue decided to put a little bit of pressure on La Bombonera. Miguel Felix, number 29 for La Bombonera, who does not seem in any kind of hurry. As we saw with Newtown Pride as well, they were willing to work off 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes till they got down to 3v3 and found their spot for the win. Remember, Newtown Pride won it in 2023. This La Bombonera team won it in 2024. Target score set at 4. We are in target score time here. Group A action between La Bombonera and Mississauga Dolphins. We'll keep you updated every 3 minutes when they take a player off. Decent touches from Bombonera, but really no advancement past midfield. As we got about 30 seconds left here in this first 3-minute stanza, with La Bombonera not doing a whole lot and not a very high press from the Dolphins.
At our next whistle, one team member will come off the field. At the end of the first 3 minutes, each team will remove one player from the field. We are down to 6 versus 6. Again, we have La Bombonera leading the Mississauga Dolphins 3-2. Our target score is 4. Now entering 6 versus 6 soccer.
So now we go to 6v6. It's been interesting. The end of the first half and the end of the second half has featured rather large stoppage and discussion. Same thing with the end of the first 3. But now we're 6v6 with the target of 4. La Bombonera needs 1 to get there. Mississauga Dolphins need 2. It's 3-2. La Bombonera, your reigning TST champs on top. WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary for the 3rd year in a row. Your wonderful spot for the TST. And it'll be a full-blown celebration on Sunday when $1 million. And they actually do it right there on the spot, folks. I'm not kidding you. They write the checks on the spots. Every player, coach, team manager, general manager, they all know what cut they're going to get. The checks are cut right there, Johnny, on the spot. It's pretty fascinating. The Dolphins, they need 2 to win it here. Just over 90 seconds remaining in the second stanza of 3 minutes, where we'll go to 5v5. We got a little head-to-head discussion here. Franz Mella came in with a little push and has had enough of the silliness, and they'll get back to business here. Handled well by the referee, I think. But Bombonera now with a little bit more urgency. We're at 6v6. About 25 seconds or so before we go to 5v5 as part of target score time here. Group A action. The Bombonera 3, Mississauga Dolphins 2. The Bombonera trying to put enough pressure on here to end it. It's going to come back to the Dolphins, though. And on that whistle, they'll take a player off and go to 5v5. So for the Dolphins, coming off is number 17, Maxim Kowal.
Again, La Bombonera in the white, leading the Mississauga Dolphins in the blue, 3-2. We have a target score of 4 here on field 6. 5 versus 5 soccer.
Also coming out of the game for the Dolphins, number 14, Darvis Kerr Cooper, who scored a goal earlier today in their first game. See Zeballos, who was involved in that little sort of mini dust-up as they get it to Raheem Rose. For me, one of the best players we've seen today. So now Bombonera. Still a couple minutes before we work our way to 4v4. It's now 5v5. Middle of the park, La Bombonera. Back for more cash after winning $1 million last year. 90 seconds remaining. By the way, it's Munoz who has stayed on. Came on to start the second half for La Bombonera and stays on for target score time. So once again, the Bombonera, with no pressure coming, they elect to kind of ping it around. Now a little bit of pressure. And a late tackle, and a card is going to come in. So it'll be a yellow card on Rose. So La Bombonera elects not to send the trainer out, and they'll keep it rolling here. Up and at him is number 27, Luis Olascoaga. As we're getting ready to go to 4v4. So here we go, 4v4. Coming out is Javier Gallegos for La Bombonera. They'll send a couple out, and Franz Mella will come out for the Dolphins. So far, we have not seen what we normally see at this point, where the teams will send a field player out with a penny to be the assumed goalkeeper and add a little more firepower from deep. We haven't seen in this game both goalkeepers take shots from distance, so perhaps they'll stay in there for the whole run. We're at 4v4. And the Bombonera, much like Newtown Pride, not afraid to just milk the 3 minutes and work their way all the way to 3v3 or 2v2. They've used 1 minute already at 4v4 without doing much. And be fair, this part of it can get a little bit tiresome as fans are looking for action here. It is a thrill when they do finally get that goal. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get to it. So 4v4 on field 6. So La Bombonera with 40-some seconds remaining, starting to lose a little bit of the crowd. As they seem ready and willing to get to 3v3, they're 20-some seconds away from doing that. Yeah, you're getting a little bit of booing going on as it's not that fun just watching the goalkeeper and the defender kick it back and forth to each other. So here we go to 3v3.
Again, the Bombonera in the white, leading 3-2 over the Mississauga Dolphins in the blue. Our target score is 4.
All right, so we are seeing La Bombonera use a field player with the jersey that will act as the goalkeeper as it's 3v3. Decent pressure coming from Alvarado, number 2 for the Dolphins. And it's 3v3. So the goalkeeper is now Irvin Mojica, wearing 17 with a penny over top of it. And now it's time to go at 3v3. La Bombonera up here ready to go for it. Dropped over quickly. Extra pass. Goalkeeper trying to stay ready. Decent trap. La Bombonera looking for the winner. Played back to Felix, Miguel Felix, one more pass. Now they need to step in. 2 quick passes for a shot. And what would be the target score win? Target score is 4. It's 3-2 La Bombonera. They have possession. Will they take a shot here? Halfway through the 3 minutes, so 90 seconds left here in this 3v3 situation. Played back. Zeballos, the goalkeeper, barking out commands. The Bombonera, they have been fine all along, just going every 3 minutes and having a player leave. This is the most active they've been, but this is still not super active. Trying to find an open opportunity to shoot. Felix, drop back. Felix, left foot. Well, right around the goal. Tough to trap there by Felix. So here we go. Here's the shot. Comes back across again. Right in front. The referee says at the next whistle they'll go to 2v2. Played across, and there it is. And La Bombonera will win it in target score time with the target set at 4. Clock issues were part of the frustration for the Dolphins. But La Bombonera, last year's TST winners, a perfect 2-0 to start the TST. The Adidas Golden Fleece scarf will be handed off for the winning goal as well. Final score, La Bombonera 4, the Mississauga Dolphins 2. Stay with us. We'll be back in 20-plus minutes for another game right here on Field 6. It's the TST.